You know, what a lot of people don't know about my family is that really this whole legacy of love could have been so much different. In fact, if I was a betting man and I would have seen my family's relationship history, I would have never have imagined that I'd be here right now. Because the fact of the matter is, my grandpa was actually one of those people that came from a broken home.
I'm the last of 6 kids, and I watched my mom and dad really verbally abuse each other. I watched my dad deck my older brothers, you know, kind of thing, and knock them across. And as the youngest one, I learned right off, you don't say certain things to your dad.
My grandpa's father lived in the Pacific Northwest, and he actually came from a really wealthy family. But in the 1920s and the 1930s, we had this thing called the Great Depression. And my great-grandfather, my Grandpa Smalley's dad, ended up losing everything. My grandpa always told me that when his father went to collect that money and the money wasn't there, he really lost his family too. He got really violent with my grandfather's mother. In fact, he used to beat her, he used to beat his children, and my grandfather's one positive memory of his dad was he would lay on the couch late at night, his dad, and listen to the radio, and he would smoke cigarettes. And my grandfather would lay on his arm, and the one positive interaction him and his dad ever had was every time he'd light a cigarette, my grandpa would blow out the match. And that was pretty much the depth of their relationship. My grandpa got married, and his first child was on the way, which was my mom. He got on his knees, and he prayed that the Lord would break the relationship curse, that he would be able to find healing from the brokenness that he had from his dad and from his parents and watching their marriage crumble. And that's really where everything changed. His ministry was rooted out of that, and his family was changed forever. In fact, I come from 2 parents that loved each other and that still love each other greatly because of the model that my grandpa and my grandma were. But you know, I would say that if it came down to one thing, if you were to ask my grandpa today, what is the one thing that the Lord gave you that really changed your relationships forever? What was it? He would say it was honor.
The word honor actually means attaching high value to someone or something. Honor is one of the greatest areas that we are missing in our country today, even all the way to Washington, D.C. Because as I view the country, I see there's a lot of dishonor in our world. People are lowering the value of life. We're not standing in the presence of life and awe. Because what happens when we stand in the presence of life and awe, it affects our attitude, it affects our feelings. Do you realize that if we are a discouraged type of person, or we even get depressed or lonely or those kinds of emotions that none of us really want, many of those emotions come directly from our attitude about how we honor both ourselves and life around us. If a person puts themselves down, they can lose their feelings for themselves. Do you realize that if we say things to ourselves like, I'm an idiot, I'll never amount to anything, and I'm stupid, nobody likes me, those statements said to ourselves affect our level of honor about ourselves. It lowers our emotions, our feelings of esteem, and pretty soon we stop liking ourselves. And then we go through the whole problem of provoking other people to treat us the way we feel about ourselves, which is the whole problem in itself. Children can do this. The opposite is true. When I realize how valuable I am as a person, then my feelings change for me.
My story with honor started as a kid attending my grandpa's seminars. I loved attending his seminars, and one of my favorite things he used to do is he used to hold up this huge sparkly diamond. I mean, this diamond was like the size of a baseball, and he would hold it up and he would say, this diamond is worth $350 million. And the audience would sit back in their chair and they would go, whoa, that's insane. How does he have this? And then he would say, and you'll never believe where I got it. I purchased it at Walmart for $9.99. And the audience would sit back and they would say, has Gary Smalley lost his marbles? But really, that is such an incredible example of honor. Because here's what my grandpa would say. He would say, this diamond doesn't know how much it's worth. And I assign the value to this diamond. So he would look back and he would say, diamond, you are worth $350 million. And you know what? The diamond never talked back. The diamond never said anything. He was the one that placed the value on that diamond. And I love that analogy because that's exactly how we're supposed to treat the people in our lives. That is honor. When you lift something up and give it incredible high value, that's called honoring. I focus every single day on honoring the people in my life. So I honor my parents, I honor my siblings, I honor my friends, and I put incredible value on them. So they're worth more than all the $350 million diamonds I could ever find. I value them so much that they become a priority in my life. I love them even when it gets hard. I take the time for them when probably I don't have a lot of spare time. That literally has changed everything for me. You know, when I was a kid, I never really understood that principle until I got older, until I started loving people intentionally, until I started honoring them, placing value on their life, placing value on them, and it really changed everything for me.
Hachette,